There's a pervasive attitude that whenever someone puts on a badge and takes up the mantle of the police officer wearing the uniform, that they're responsible for whatever harm comes to them. That's simply not the case. Let me tell you a story about how we overcame those objections and misguided ideas to recover $1 million for an officer who suffered an exacerbation of a serious pre-existing back injury that he had while he was on duty. There was an emergency on a highway where police were called in to divert traffic onto an off-ramp, and the officer tasked with doing that had to block oncoming cars that didn't like that instruction, of course, would try to get through. So he was diverting cars away, but had to let work vehicles through. So he stepped aside to let a work vehicle through, and a few moments passed when all of a sudden he felt something hit him from behind. As he started going down, he banged on the back of the truck. Eventually, it stopped moving. He was able to get his leg out from under it, but not before his back had dramatically twisted and he knew something was severely wrong within moments. He goes up to the passenger side of the truck and bangs on the window to ask, "What the heck are you doing?" and sees a passenger sitting in the passenger seat. Lo and behold, no one got out of the truck. There's no backup alarm that he heard, nothing like that. Fast forward a few months later, and he's in surgery that would ultimately cost him the rest of his career and take away the ability for him to do a lot of the things that he liked. Now, he already had a long-standing history of back injuries with multiple prior surgeries and ongoing issues. The defense in the case was essentially that the officer was the one in control. He should have better controlled the situation. Essentially, hey, it's your fault that we hurt you. You were looking the other way at traffic, you should have been looking at us, this, that, and the other thing. When the reality was that by doing the research, following up, hiring the experts, taking depositions, looking through everything, we were able to determine that no, there are regulations through OSHA and everything else that require there to be a backup alarm audible over the surrounding noise, or there has to be a spotter assisting the vehicle in backing up for these types of situations, because you can't just simply back up into anyone regardless of whether or not they're wearing a police badge. We're able to overcome those defenses and those invalid objections in reality and recover $1 million for that officer, as we would for any officer in that situation, because just because an officer is present does not allow anyone else the license to simply be negligent and cause them an injury.